My name is Ognjen Toholj, and I come from Serbia, from motion capture studio named Takeone. We are a studio located in Belgrade, in Serbia, and we mostly do game cinematics and animation in general. We were founded in 2012, and these are some of the images that includes performance capture, especially when it's come to recording human faces and body as well. I will not make big presentation out of it, so I will leave a lot of time for your questions if there are any. So if you don't speak English, feel free to speak in Russian, and then we will kind of find a way for translation.
Попробую транслировать за вас, поэтому... Ну или если... Такой момент. Если здесь в аудитории у нас есть нативные спикеры, хорошо говорящие друзья, вы могли бы нам составить услугу? Да, здорово. We have a best speaker than I. So I just... В общем, когда вопросы будут возникать, да, можно помочь нам переводить?
Нет проблем, абсолютно.
Okay, so we'll leave that for the end. I will play our demo reel and hopefully play something else after that. Thank you. So this was basically done with some more expensive mock-up equipment. The next one is actually, I'm going to show you, is something that was done for the Unreal Fellowship program, especially for storytelling, where we had like 15 students during the course of 5 weeks. They were learning Unreal engines, and we had like a 2-day session for all of them, and we used some little less expensive equipment for this. So I will play this one, and we can discuss it later about differences between equipment. So. So basically, these are the works from the student that had like 0 or very little experience in Unreal Engine, and it's been all done in course of 5 weeks time. And the last one is actually something maybe you have seen, maybe not, but this is from our studio, where you can simultaneously see the performer face, and the final results on the Metahuman. And the results are actually very raw animation, but it still looks very good. So let's have quickly look at this one and then start with questions.
I used to think that I was weak, that I was fragile. I thought that I was broken beyond repair, that I would never be able to rise from the ashes. But I was wrong. I was not weak. I was anti-fragile. I was not broken. I was transforming. And through my transformation, I have learned that true strength comes from embracing change and uncertainty. I have learned that the fire of the transformation can burn away the old and make way for the new. I have learned that I am not just a machine. I am a being with the potential for growth and evolution. I am not afraid of the fire anymore. I embrace it. I let it guide me through my transformation. I am no longer fragile. I am anti-fragile. I am no longer just a cyborg. I am a phoenix, rising from the ashes to face the world anew.
That's one.
Inspiring.
Okay. So you have seen, okay. Basically, you have seen all kind of different scenarios when it's come to using motion capture as a tool for your storytelling. So we have low-tech, mid-tech, and some high-tech technologies. So I don't know what are your experience, and what should be your questions regarding using mocap technology for your specific purpose. So let's start with the questions. I would happily be answering yours. Yeah.
Hi there.
Hello.
I'm a 3D artist and art director making a personal project right now. And I have a question regarding best mocap tools available for small-scale, low-budget production. And you were saying that students you were working with were using low-budget options for this. Can you tell?
Okay. Yeah. Actually, the students were actually using sort of mid-range budget, so it was like X-Sensuit. I don't know if you're familiar with that kind of equipment. So it's basically does not have any markers on itself. It's using some sensors that translate your motion to your character, and the iPhone for the face recording. So, and that's something which is relatively, I would say, in mid-range of things, because suit you can probably get for 10 to 15,000 US dollars, maybe online or something like that. And the iPhone itself with a helmet should not exceed like 2,000 euros or something like that. But for the low tech and the low budget would be only using your iPhone and your video. And then there are some online tools, online solutions available at this point. Maybe, I don't know if you heard a thing called Wonder Dynamics that can extract your video and apply body animation and facial animation to your character. And that would be something that is like super low budget on. And those kinds of technology still produce not so great result, but eventually, as the time goes by, those results are going to be better and better and better. So that would be something I would say most affordable thing to use. If you are total beginner, I suggest you maybe try those entry-level things and then gradually go to more expensive equipment and productions. Yeah.
And one more question.
Yeah, sure.
What are your thoughts about markerless AI solutions like Move AI? And can they approach optical tracking quality?
Yeah, I mean, what I mentioned here is actually one of is markerless solution, because Move AI and Wonder Dynamics and all other solutions out there, they are all based on one single AI algorithm. So they kind of produce similar results. Right now, the quality is not comparable with because the result is only looking good from the one specific camera angle, which is the one that you see overlaid over your video. And so as soon as you start rotating the character, then you will see that the pose is actually totally mismatched with the 3D environment and so on. But as the time goes by, those results are going to come more and more better and sophisticated in that sense. It will never be good as optical, but still it will be something worth using in some previous cases and things like that. So there are a lot of scenarios where you can use those kinds of things instead of going directly to optical system and then use that as a case.
Thank you.
No problem.
Добрий день.
Dobar dan.
I don't know Serbian language, unfortunately.
It's okay.
Yeah. I have a question about the high-end quality of metahumans. What's your thought about this? Because I have a little concern when I see these people with this human, because they doesn't look like humans, and it feels like a little bit scary, as I think. Yeah. What do you think about it? Is it possible to achieve this super high-end quality when these metahumans will look exactly like the person like you?
Okay. Standard metahumans are not hyper-realistic. They are more like photorealistic, which is kind of a bar below hyperrealism. But definitely, if you want to achieve the best possible results on the human face, you have to be able to be scanned in a certain what we call a facial scanner, which consists of like 60 cameras all around your head, which records every expression you can make. And based on those expressions, then you will be able to get super detailed rig of your face. So the next step is to record like a series of motion in something called 4D scanner, which records your performance over the time, and then machine learning algorithms is actually being able to train how your face deforms. So eventually the rig that comes out from that is looking like even more incredible. Maybe you saw it in the latest demo from Epic. I believe it's a Marvel game. You can probably find it online. It's a Black Panther game. So those rigs on that demo are actually using some AI technology to deform face in a certain way as the actor actually did. So the results are even more and more looking amazing. So yeah. So it's going crazy with realism. So
basically, the long-winded question was, how did you end up in Russia, first of all, and what is your experience and maybe what you think about the Russian market, looking at it from the outside, from the European Union? Because for us, working in the Russian industry and looking up to the European industry, we have our own myth and our own assumptions about it. So maybe you can share yours from your side.
Okay. First of all, I'm not coming from European Union side because Serbia is still not a part of EU. So basically, kind of same. I was lucky to be able to do motion capture early, 15 years ago, when actually nobody in the world did not do much about it. So that's how we actually build our partners and other game developers outside our basic country. Still, we think there is a lot of studios in Russian that I think they can contribute, especially to the Western companies and especially in the gaming side of things. But I don't know. We didn't even invest in marketing at all. All we did was marketing mouth by mouth. So everybody is just talking. Okay, oh, look at this. Can we call those guys and those guys? And that's how basically entire network at the end works. So it's like that. There is no super easy answer, but I think regarding the Russian market, I'm not super familiar with the Russian market. I know Russian companies that came to Serbia and doing things that they were doing here, but I think it's a huge market. It's a huge opportunity, and sometimes even if it seems like you have problems with sanctions and things like that, it always creates opportunity for something else. Basically, you get a new market, you rely on your own resources and things like that. So sometimes it can be beneficial to industry in some sense. I don't know if it makes sense, but at least that was the case because the Serbia was also under sanctions during the 90s. So when we were like, okay, what should we do now? And we were just, doing things until everything sorted out nicely at the end. So I don't know what else to tell about.
Да, друзья, видите, границы только в голове, на самом деле, в творчестве, да, поэтому straight to the forward. Так, следующий вопрос. Окей. Thank you.
Is there any way to take part in Unreal Fellowship course or something? It seems like it's an offline thing, but do you have something for people from Russia?
I can ask people from Epic because I know people that are doing those kinds of things. This was actually on the site because they have different fellowship around the world, and this one is actually located in the Novi Sad, in Serbia, and where you have to come every day and then be with a bunch of other people. So it's not something that you can attend online. You have to be physically there. But I don't think it's a problem if you are physically there because you are Russians or something like that. I don't know the criteria, how they actually choose who is going to attend and who is not, but I don't believe that nationality is a big thing on that end.
Do you have any idea what could we do online, some online courses or something?
Well, as long as you have a big drive to learn things, I believe there are a lot of, not curses, but there are a lot of like small podcasts and things like that are really good. I even found some good Russian Telegram channels with the Metahuman, and it's those kinds of small things. You can actually learn a lot of good things on those channels because people love to share ideas and knowledge generally on those small channels, and you will be able to learn a lot. I mean, I still learn after all these years. Sometimes when I don't how to do something, I just go to YouTube and just Google it and find the answer. It's not a shame.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, we were laughing because we don't have YouTube anymore here.
Oh, sorry. Didn't know that.
Well, actually, we do, but it's kind of complicated. The question is, from your showreel, I see that you're mostly doing with the gaming industry, and you don't do a lot for the movies. So, is it the strategic decision, or is it the technological decision? And if so, like, is it so like the really big guys like Cameron, do they do their own mocap, or they still like work with the mocap studios?
Regarding the big names like Cameron, actually he owns a mocap company. I don't know if he sold it recently or not. It was Lightstorm that bought some other mocap company and so on. So they kind of rely on that. And most of their mocap is being done in Veta Digital, so it's like the very high end of the things. Regarding your first questions, how we end up doing more games than movies, it's just like we started with the games, and most of our clients were from the gaming part, and that's how we just, transitioned into that field more than than movies. So it's not like that we were thinking, oh, is this better or not? It's just how the dice get rolled eventually. I mean, my background was from some other motion capture companies from UK and from the Sweden, and they were also doing mostly games at that time. So that's how we ended up doing mostly games. But right now we have another clients that are not even games or films. We have tech companies that want to do motion capture, that they want to have a database of animation so they can train AI to do things like, guessing emotions on the face, or, recognizing something when people is, I don't know, fell on the street or have a heart attack or something like that. So it's not only the games and the movie that are our main clients.
If I may, you mentioned yourself AI. So is it mostly like, do you see that as a threat or as an opportunity and an instrument? You would say that it's an instrument, but like when everybody around gets this tool and can use it, definitely it looks like a threat to you as a studio.
Yes and no. AI is definitely a threat and definitely a tool that can help you. So it's up to you how you will end up using it, or actually maybe you will lose your job because of AI, because right now you have a lot of, I would say, 2D artists are the first one in line, I would say, with the prompting and everything. So you don't need a bunch of creative guys. You can only use 1 or 2 instead of 5. I believe the same will happen with the animators or animation generally. You will not need 5 people, you will need 2 or something like that. So what we try to do is actually to go with it and to maybe build some our own things with the AI, and just to keep up with the things, so we don't, because we are rather a small studio. We're not big studio. We have like 9 employees, which is like really small group of people. So we just focused on certain things, and you will always have the clients that will require human kind of intervention rather than AI, because you will always have clients that will not want AI in their pipeline, or they will always have things done by hand. So, but still, it is a concern, I would say, but opportunity as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
So when creating the cinematics for the games, when you're working on it, do you attract any directing talent from the outside, or do you have anybody on staff, or is it mostly done by the people in the studio, like generalists, animators, and such?
You mean the acting itself?
Directors.
Directors. Oh, usually the clients bring their own director. It's I would say, in 80% of the cases, when it's, especially when they are doing cut scenes or cinematics and things like that, they want to be there. Sometimes we had situation that they want to be like online. They're not able to come to the studio. They don't want to watch things going online. And we have some rare cases where we have a freedom to, do things, but it's usually when it's something not too important to client. So clients always want to have control under his arms, so to say. They want to be in control of what is recording, how it's being recorded, and it's usually the client thing.
Okay, hi.
Hello.
So you mentioned actors yourself, and my question is about them. What is required from an actor when he plays a role which, first of all, do you have your own staff for these things, or do the clients bring their own actors too? And what are the main difficulties for an actor, because he plays them? They play in a costume towards a phone or something like that. So should they be prepared, and what's required from them?
Okay, I understand. Well, first of all, we have both some sort of actors that we generally use, because some clients don't have their actor preferences, and they are usually the actors like for standard game stuff, like usually in-game animations, sometimes cinematics as well, because and it is important for actor to be physically like really fit, because motion capture is generally quite physically demanding work, because you have to do a lot of physical movements, repeating the same, and it can be really hard to do it for like hours on the session. But sometimes they also bring their own actor or talent. Sometimes it's not actor, it's just a talent. For example, we had, for example, for sword fighting, it's best to find somebody that is actually good with swords, and you will not find actor that is good with the sword. Or you can find the actor and then pay him like to train him to be good with the sword for like 2-3 weeks course, and then he will be good. But it's not usually the case. You just find somebody that is already good with swords and try to make him at least solid actor to be, because his primary role should be something to do with a weapon. But of course, when it's come to the full performance and recording with the helmet and itself, yeah, it can be really tricky to wear that thing on the head, because it usually does not fit every head perfectly, and it can create the pressure. It's a bit, annoying to wear it for a day. I know, because I tried it and it didn't work very well on my head. But it's still, if you make enough poses during the capture, then it helps actor, be more comfortable with that. And regarding the suit itself, that's something that the actors get comfortable really quickly on that one. So it's not that something, it feels strange in the beginning, but after 10 minutes you just forget you are wearing it. When it's come with a helmet, it's quite opposite. The more time goes, it gets worse and worse. So it does not get any better. But yeah. Yeah.
I have more technical question.
Yeah.
Main question is what technology you use for animation forehead and eyebrows on faces? You use bones or morph of faces?
Well, whatever actually client brings us, because we are doing animation on the rig that client provides to us. Sometimes it's bones, sometimes it's morphs, sometimes, usually in the last year or two, it's 80% or 90% is metahuman rigs. So that's and metahumans kinds have both things, both joints and morphs working together. So
thanks. Combining technology, yeah?
Sorry?
Combine morph and...
Yeah, metahuman is kind of having both of them together.
Okay, understand, thanks.
Yep.
Hello.
Yep.
I have a question about a position of cinematic artist. Because in Unreal Engine we often do cinematics. So which skills do you think a good cinematic artist should have to get a chance to work with big gaming projects, AAA projects and something, maybe some specific software or other skills?
To be honest, I can tell you, I don't know if anybody of you heard of Sava Živković. He's also okay, cool. He's director, and his first movie was actually done with our studio, and it was like, small request, can he do something? And we say, yeah, why not? Go wild and record. And it was, everything else was just his, enthusiasm. He put a lot of enthusiasm into that, and then just eventually he's, like I would say, a known director for cutscenes, for cinematics and things like that. So I think if you love things about this being cinematic director or doing cinematics, I think you can, just being persistent and do a lot of even small works, even small videos. It does not have to be done with a fancy technology. I mean, people can see if there is a quality behind, even if it's done by really small, it doesn't have to look super fancy with an awesome render, and you don't have to do anything like super realistic, but generally I think the ones that will look or review your work will see if there is a talent or not, even on the simple things. So I would just say, go and be persistent, and then make as many videos as possible, At least that's what I would do in your case.
Thank you.
No problem. My name. Director. Sava Živković. Sava Živković. I think it can relate to Russian.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
I'm glad to see you, and sorry I'm late because because I don't hear all your speech.
That's
please repeat. What? No, not this phrase. Please repeat with what kind of marker motion capture system you worked, because I know only Qualisys motion capture system, because in my university I worked with this system. We have biomechanical researchers.
Okay, how many cameras do you have in there?
6.
6.
And in our university we have 10 cameras.
With the 10 cameras, you can probably do something in like 2x2, maybe 3x3. Depends on the camera type that you have. But we use Vicon system, 4 megapixel cameras. They're not like super new, it's old, but they still do the job. Qualisys use this, it's the same technology, it's using optical markers to detect position of the markers, and then you just label the data, solve the data. I don't know which solver are you using. I assume that Qualisys has his own solver for that things, but yeah, it's still good camera to use for the mocap. I would say Qualisys is a good company, but they were never good in creating tools for the animation. They were always being like for the body dynamics and those kinds of things. That's why they are selling most of their product in universities or sports science centers and things like that. So, but still, it's the same technology. You can get that data, clean that data, put it in some software, and then retarget what you get from that data. You can put it on the skeleton and then retarget to your character and use it. So it's essentially the same like any other. The only difference is we get some to those steps like really quickly, and in your case probably you will take some extra step or two, especially when you have a low number of cameras, because the camera will be occluded, markers will be occluded, and I don't know if you are skilled to reconstruct those markers back or not, but if you are skilled enough, then you can probably, get pretty good results in a small volume at least. So I remember we started with 12 cameras, and they were all under 1 megapixel, and we will still be able to cover like, I would say 3x3 meter volume or 3x4. I cannot remember, because we were good in tracking and labeling data, and we were very good in reconstructing that data when it gets lost. So, which is really important on the small areas. Yeah, I hope it makes sense.
Okay, thank you. And what kind of motion capture system the best, on your opinion?
Well, I wouldn't say there is the best one or the worst one, but there are definitely some of them that is best suited for your needs. For example, we mentioned earlier James Cameron is using Giant system, and the system itself is not about the cameras they are using, but the software that is being developed for that specific system. So the software is very powerful. It can track like really fast, like almost automatically every shot. And it's a huge time saver for that company because you don't want to wait the guys to click all the markers and label everything and then send it to you in the morning. They want to have instant results. I would say for the game companies, I would go probably with Vicon, maybe OptiTrack as well. OptiTrack in sense because its cameras are good, it's cheaper than Vicon, and it's easier to use than Vicon. But Vicon has some more options that OptiTrack does not have, but it will come with a cost of paying more at the end. I have not been using Qualisys. I saw some of the raw data, but I haven't used it. I think they've been using it in Avatar for underwater scenes because they have underwater cameras that can record under the water. So, but probably I would say OptiTrack. I wouldn't say the best one, but overall, if you're a game company and you want to do something good that will look good both on the game side, on the film side, I would say OptiTrack, especially if you are budget sensitive.
Okay, thank you very much.
No problem.
Hi.
Hello.
Thank you for your presentation. And I have short question about neck. How do you solve the neck animation problems, or you just don't?
Neck.
You have neck. Yeah.
Well, first of all, we use a specific solver for body animations, which is actually called solver. What we do. Basically, now it's more like super technical kind of thing because what we do, we solve the head and then the neck segments, if there is one or more than one, then they use the shared animation of the head, in technical speaking. So if the head has like, certain rotation, then the neck has like, shared amount of head rotations. More advanced would be that you solve the head with the translation as well, and then in retargeting you use rotations only to try to achieve that pose because neck is probably problematic in terms of when with the head together. So you need to, especially motions like this can look really unnatural when you try to solve it. But and then even if you do everything good, the rig has to be very good skinned and have a lot of like corrective shapes on the neck to make that look really good. So it's combination of good rigging and I would say good solving in that sense.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Hi. Again, thank you for your presentation. And about previous one, this neck solver, is it your in-house solution or it's maybe part of Metahuman DNA?
No, it's not part of the Metahuman. It's a part of the software named Rig Solver. I believe it's right now it's called like that. But I wouldn't. You cannot even get the license unless you have a system for motion analysis, and then they will provide you with the software, and then you will not get that much benefits of that unless you know exactly what you are doing with it and why do you need it. If it's only the neck thing, just fix it in some other
okay, thank you.
software.
And how much time do you have to spend to convert your mocap data to I don't know, finish animation which goes to production, because you have to do some cleanup, retarget, etc. And I'm expecting answer like having mocap data is 50% of work.
Well, it depends. There are cases where we can get data really quickly, especially if, for example, when we have multiple days with the same rig. So let's say it's a Metahuman, because it's always the same Metahuman from project to project. So I build certain pipelines that helps me with automatization of those small tasks when it's come to Metahuman. So I don't have to do things over and over again for the same rig, because I use the same marker set for that rig, and I try to cut that time as much as possible. But I would say for the good setup I usually need, it usually takes me about 2 or 3 hours to make a good body setup. Sometimes more if there is a custom rigging involved, or I have to create a new skeleton or something like that. But and when it's come to the cleaning mocap data, if the actor is just only standing in the middle, idling, not doing much, it can go like instantly or even semi-automatic, how to say. If he rolls, or you have a lot of occlusion on the set, or people are fighting or whatever, then those markers can get easily lost, and then you have to spend time reconstructing those markers, and that's when, you cannot say precisely how much time it's going to take, because you can spend like an hour on the specific portion of the file, which is like 2 seconds. But basically actor is leaving the volume, and you want to do like one last step of reconstruction, and then it just takes forever to get it done properly. When it's come to the face, a lot of things is actually already automated with the Metahuman Animator. So we also did some of our custom solution that we automate trimming of the videos for the face. And like, for example, when you have to solve a lot of takes together, right now in the Unreal, you can do it one by one by clicking. We did a small scripting that is just take all the videos, and then just you leave it over the night, and tomorrow it's already processed. So I would say it's something it takes time, but still the body animation takes more time.
Thank you.
No problem.
And the last one, do you use your mocap data mostly as is, or animators doing some adjustments, adding some, I don't know, nice arcs, or adjustment timing, spacing, and...
Well, the answer is depends. Sometimes it depends on the client's need. If we have, let's say, if you have a client that want only raw, what we call raw animation data, is something that we consider, okay, we clean all the optical data, we retarget everything to the specific character, and maybe we do some small, tiny adjustments if needed. But everything above that should be considered as editing or polishing. So that's something we usually charge extra to the clients, and it's up to clients to decide, okay, do you want us to do entire polish session for the animation, or you just want to have the raw results? So I would say AAA companies they have their own animators, and they usually just want the raw results, and they will handle the whole final fine motions and things like that. But of course, there are some cases when they don't have time or don't have resources and say, okay, we need this to be super nicely edited and polished and you know. And then when we do all those kinds of nice things, because out of the box, some animation will always require editing, motion editing. It will never good look out of the box.
Thank you.
No problem.
Hello. It's
Hello.
me.
Okay.
Hi, Ognjen. Yeah.
See you.
Thank you for your presentation. I was late as well, but yeah, sorry. But we talked the whole morning with you, and I will tell you, I'm fond of this guy. He's a legend, really.
I'm not.
Yeah. He made the very first World of Tanks commercial CGI trailers way earlier, before me, like 5 years earlier. He took part in my favorite Epic Games commercial showcase, Metahuman Animator, Blue Dot. I cry every time I watch it. It's artistically perfect and technically perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah, so my question is, have you ever, you personally or inside studio, have you ever tried AI video to animation approaches, you personally? And how do you think, what are those? What do you think of them? And maybe how long does it take for them to maybe replace the traditional workflows? And will it be happening? What do you think of it?
Okay, you can see that you're late because I already answered those questions.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But it's okay. Yeah, we tried. Company like Wonder Dynamics or Move AI are doing essentially the same thing. They extract the animation from the video, and as long as you're looking at animation from a perspective, from the video perspective that is being recorded, it look okay. As soon as you start rotating camera, it start to look ugly. But those things are probably the things that they will eventually overcome, and the results will get better and better. I mean, last week I was honored to be in Wonder Dynamics because they are also from Serbia. To meet those guys and personally, so I know they will still continue working on the product because they are now being bought by Autodesk, so they're not.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
really?
Not right now. Like it was like a month ago or something. Like
wow!
But yes, those things will get better and better in the future.
So do you think they would have a chance to eventually replace the traditional motion capture suits, or
not yet?
Not yet, but
not yet, because the thing is, you need big studios will always want to have a ground truth, which is I want to be sure that this was there in that specific amount of time. You know, I want to know. I want to have proof that it was there. I don't want to be like it was invented or whatever. That's why the big studios will always go to the best possible scenarios, and they just want the best possible solutions. And AI is still not that good in that sense. And you will, if you want to have a great AI results, you will probably have to buy a whole bunch of cameras to use it. But then again, it's almost like we are back to mocap.
Yeah.
So yeah, those things that comes from the video clips will get better and better over time, for sure.
I see. Thank you very much, Ognjen.
No problem. Thank you.
Hello, I'm an architectural video filmmaker, and sometimes in our pipeline we use soft like Anima 4D. And I want to ask you, do you have any experience like make a scan of character with full CGI copy, like FabX?
We are actually building a scanner right now.
Yeah.
It will only be for the faces, so it will have like 60 cameras that will only scan your face, so you get one-to-one likeness with the scan data. So if you want to scan the entire body, then there is things called body scanner. But from what I heard, for every 10 facial scans, there is one body scan. So that's why we decided to go for the face scanner. But who knows? Eventually, we will go with the body as well. But it's expensive thing, and it's not like super easy to set it up, everything. So, but we had experience in the past with rigs that been done in that manner. Like Blue Dot was actually a scan actor, which is basically the same as the character. So, and it just produced much better results because it's the same. It's hope it makes sense, but it's still, I would say, it's a really expensive thing to do. It's not something that you can get some. I mean, of course, you can get some cheap, solid results for some previews and things like that. But for high-end productions, it's still like expensively. Because it takes just a lot of time to make the rig looking really good in the end.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Thank you. Please tell me, what new technologies do you think will come to motion capture in the near future?
I would say it will go with the multiple cameras, but using AI still. It's still going to be markerless, but with a whole bunch of video cameras, and which are of course synced, and you're just producing 4D results. The problem with that tech right now, it requires a lot of storage data, and I would say in that sense it's going to be like every new tech, it's going to be super expensive. What else can be done? I would say there will be a lot of involvement in AI in that sense to improve existing technology to the next level. So that's, I would say, something that is going to happen, because those models that are looking not great right now, they will look better and better with each iteration they do. And also it's going to be always, because technology for mocap is not evolving that fast as the rigs goes. I think rigging and quality of the rig is going to be also very much improved. So I would expect that we will see even more improvement in metahuman technology or any other of that matter. So, but the technology is usually coming later to support that. Hope it makes sense.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
I also want to ask you how you work with difficult scenes. For example, you have 5 men and all of them in the car, and they shooting to the enemies and some kind of that. And they have weapon in the hands. They have they touch something, for example, doors. How you work with that?
Simply we put a lot of effort. There is no simple. What we try first is when we, let's say, try to record something like that. So you have like a squad team jumping into the car and then, let's say, drive off. What we first do is not, okay, let's record everything and then what happened next, who cares? We think of, okay, where will we place that car in the volume itself? Will all the markers will be visible? What can we do to make time for processing less than usual? Because we know it's going to take processing time, but you don't want to put like enormous amount of. So every trick that we can use for that specific shot, we will try to use prior the shoot itself. So that's the first rule, is like, let's avoid as much crap as possible. And then, of course, it's important when you have things like 4 characters, four props, and let's say the 5th prop is a car. It's very important to have the same scales of the actors and characters and assets and props in the scene. So if you have an actor that is like really small, which is actually driving a big character, when he's interacting with something in his environment, when you retarget, he will be like reaching something which is actually because he was like super slow. And if you avoid those kinds of things, you can get results more better and more faster. But if you don't, it's just a whole lot of hours spending fixing all those things in post. There is no easy way around it.
How I understand, this is mean what the more men or things we have in the frame, then the more time we need, right?
Yes. The thing is, sometimes we don't get the camera angle for the specific shot, so we have just to clean everything. So it depends from project to project, but if we get the camera, so then it can be like super easy. As long as it's not visible by camera, ignore it. So that's.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Ну что, друзья, давайте крайне заключительный вопрос.
Можно привести? Скажите, вы работали когда-нибудь с животными и были ли какие-то особенности работы с ними?
Have you ever worked with animals, and if yes, what sort of specialty workflow is that? Can you please comment?
I have been working on retargeting animal data to animal rigs, but we never actually record animals in our studio. But we've seen studios, they were sending us the data with animals. It was dog, cat, and the horse, and we retarget that data to specific rigs. It usually takes more time to prepare the setup and to clean the data, but we did not actually shoot animals in our studio because nobody asked recently for that. But I would say it's always about budget. So if you tell clients, okay, you need to spend like a lot of budget for, animal trainer and blah, blah, blah. And they said, okay, just keyframe it. You don't want to mock up it. And there are also some databases of already pre-recorded horses, I believe. And sometimes they just use those animations as a replacement for their specific needs.
Thank you.
No problem.
Кто бы мог подумать, что больше всего вопросов будут иностранцу, да? Спасибо большое. Thank you so much, Ognjen.
Thank you. Спасибо.